morning.
Good morning.
So what did we do last time?
So last time we did the lookouts, the bird blocks, and we put roof sheathing on.
And then after that, we put on our fascia boards, drip edge, and some nailers to attach the soffit to.
Right. So what are we up to now?
We are on to shingling day, which is exciting. Actually, shake day.
Yeah.
So these are shakes. These are cedar shakes. They're different than shingles. How? You did some research.
Oh, okay. So a cedar shingle is smooth on both sides. This is the smooth side, and this is the rough side of a shake. So they just have two smooth sides. The shakes are smooth on one side where they've been sawn, and then they're cut on the other side, like they're split.
Yeah.
And so it gives it a really rough, unique texture. People really prefer this look. This is a very premium product.
Oh, so we're fancy.
But we got it on extreme clearance. So ours are already pre-weathered. We'll put it that way.
And various sizes. We'll see. There is something to note. There's not a lot of information on how to install these. We're going by a booklet by the Cedar Shingle and Shake Council.
Sounds right. That sounds right.
Sounds official.
Yeah.
So we're going by that booklet mainly because we're not experienced doing this. But the other thing is that there are definitely differences between installing shakes versus shingles. The different things you do with the tar felt underneath, like layering and things. Well, you'll see. So,
and I should say on a humid environment is different. We're in a warm climate. We're in a southern climate. We have a hot, humid climate. It's different installing this than you would in the north, and it's different than in marine climates. So we're going to share what we're experiencing. We couldn't find many videos on this, so we're excited to be able to share this with you. We're going to share the good and the bad as we progress, but just know this is our first time installing it, but we should have fun with it. It should be it's a new thing.
yeah, I'm excited.
So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the other side. We better get going.
Yeah. All right, so this is our first time shingling a roof with cedar shakes.
I really want to emphasize that to everyone watching that we have not done this before.
Our instructions are the booklet that we have and the instructional video from This Old House with Tom Silver.
You know how an easy way to know that we haven't done this many times before?
That we're nervous
So
about?
we got to this phase where we are pretty quickly, but the last bit of the trim and all that sort of stuff has taken us an extraordinary amount of time.
Roof work always takes a lot of time.
It does. You have to be careful and not fall.
Yeah. So we haven't even fully shingled a roof before with asphalt shingles. We have
25
with Habitat.
years ago.
With Habitat.
Yes.
We have piecemealed replaced shingles when we did our skylights.
Yes, we have.
That was like a whole roof.
Shingles are pretty easy. Shakes, the only difficult part with the shakes is that you have to do the tar felt and then shakes and then tar felt and then shakes and tar felt. You kind of do it like, what's the step flashing?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what step flashing is though. So step flashing is metal that is an L and that you put little piece after piece after piece after piece as it goes down the hill.
Shingle, metal. And that's usually on kind of when you're...
And the idea of that is when the water hits the shingle, if it gets behind it, it hits the metal, and then it hits the shingle, then it hits the metal.
Yeah.
And so the idea here is that it hits the cedar shake, and then it hits the tar felt underneath, it goes down, hits more tar felt, and goes down and hits more tar felt. And it might go, shake, tar felt, shake, more tar felt. But anyway, the idea is that it's a continuous pattern all the way down to where everything overlaps so that you don't have water penetration.
And apparently very important is not to cover the entire roof with tar felts.
Yes.
Don't know why.
They say it's really important.
Really important not to cover the entire roof.
Different from normal shingling.
Yeah.
So...
Well, normal shingling, you just put tar felt on the shingle.
Watch us do this whole thing, and then we'll leak like crazy. Anyway.
I'm really worried about it, because you can't put a vapor barrier type of sheathing. It has to be vapor open tar felt.
It needs to be able to breathe. So if you work with wood, wood will stay flat as long as it can dry on the top and the bottom at the same time. If you have one side where it can't dry, and one side where it can, it's going to cup. And that's what makes the cupping that you see. Like if a wood floor gets wet, it cups because there's no way for it to dry on the bottom.
And we are not following our own advice here, and we are not using some sort of synthetic, like meshy material under the whole deck here.
Because it's expensive.
Or cheapskates.
Well, it's a shed. It's not our living space.
Yeah.
If this was our living space, I would definitely be using one of those. But
We are kind of using that kind of material for the ridge vent, though. That is really the only solution.
splurged for a $50 little piece of, it looks like just a Brillo pad or something. Like it looks like a really big, long Brillo pad, but it keeps the bugs out while letting the hair in and out and letting it breathe.
Yeah, so we have the soffit vents and the ridge vents for that. Soffit vents are just, holes with screen. But yeah, so very important not to cover the whole thing in the tar felt. Don't know why it's that very thin threshold of this is good and this is no way.
And we should qualify in our climate. Because
We're guessing we have a
we're in a humid climate.
Yeah.
We're in a humid climate. But like up north, no way this would fly. Like you would have to do the little like expensive thing. Like there's no way you could just do the tar felt with current code. And I should definitely be sure to say that, because I think that's what they used to do. And now it's gone over to where you have to have the meshy stuff, or there's more things you have to do.
Well, and you could not have a solid deck. You could have like one by material, like strips, so there are air gaps everywhere all over the place. And that's another way to
Variant strips, right. Okay.
Yeah, like all over the place instead of this solid deck. Now, they did say that OSB hadn't been tested with these cedar shakes. It was a plywood deck. And we're just, again, being cheap about it and doing the OSB.
We're just going for it. So that's all. I just want to do a video to make sure to say, or a clip here, to make sure to say, we kind of know what we're doing.
We don't know what we're doing. There's not a lot of stuff to find. We've got our booklet. We've seen like a handful of videos, but really there's not a lot of it.
There's not a lot of videos. Join us on this journey as we discover what it's like to actually put down shakes on a roof.
We'll see. I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine.
Okay, Anna, so we're going to do a step-by-step guide on this while we're going. I mean,
Step by step.
yeah, I mean, look, we've made it clear we really don't know completely what we're doing. So we've made it clear, though, what the guide says to do.
The guide says to do this first row with a full sheet of tar felt.
And the rest,
You don't do this anywhere else, just on the front edge. And for us, that's like a third of the roof. At least.
but that's what it says to do, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, so we're doing this, and we're using staples to staple it down. We have like nail caps with little blue caps to help keep things down. But this is fine too. It's kind of pick one type of situation.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make sure this is straight though before I nail it, staple it.
Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, that is an Orange Dream Japanese maple that is just brilliantly shining right now. And here is the whole yard. It's slowly waking up. The springtime.
All right. So tell me what you're doing over here.
So we watched Tom Silva. He said to do it this way, so that's the way we're doing it. So I have a 2x4 cut here to get me 1.5 inches off from below because there's a drip cap. And that's about right. And on this side, it should be about half because we want to go 3/4 inch over the edge. I think that's a little bit more. That feels like 3/4 of an inch. We want a 5.5 inch reveal, and then we want to nail 1.5 inches north of that according to the booklet. So a 5.5 inches from Tom Silva. The 1.5 inch is from the booklet. So 5.5 plus 1.5 inches is 7. So I want to nail at 7 inches up. So, other thing I should note, this is just the first one. You actually do 2 thick throughout the whole thing. This is a short one. We saw in one of the time-lapse videos on YouTube, we saw that they use short ones for the first run, and then they use longer ones for the second. We figure, why not? Yeah, that seems fine.
Also, Tom said to do 2 rows, sometimes 3, but we don't know why.
Now, you're also supposed to do like at least 3/4 inch from the side. On this side, there's actually a drip cap here, so I'm going in a little bit of a ways right here. 7. There. First one is on.
Woo! Commitment.
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 That's it. We are committed.
All right, how far away are you spacing those?
So the booklet said 3/8 of an inch to something, 5/8. So I'm doing 3/8. I'm doing what looks like 3/8. I mean, this looks like a 1/4 of an inch here. I think a 1/4 of an inch has to be plenty. Hopefully about the right spot.
And about
Okay.
1.5 inches away from the edges. Let's see, here's this pile of all these short ones.
My nail row isn't quite straight, but that's okay.
Well, we can snap a line or a chalk line later.
Yeah. All right, so now I want to do some long ones.
Pre-weathered.
These are pre-weathered. That's right. So I think you just nail these in the same spot, essentially.
Yeah, maybe just like a smidgen higher so you don't hit your own nails.
I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay.
How's the depth on those nails?
It's really good. It didn't quite go in there, but this is at the very overhang, so there's not much resistance.
Okay, yeah, that's true. It's kind of bouncy.
Right. There you go. Then I'm going to do my second piece. Put my gap in there. Oh, this is a pretty wide one. Okay, we're going to go with this.
Okay. I'm back to over here.
Pillar. Around 7 inches still. And again, I can't go too far over because there's a... All right, so after this, I'm going to stop here.
It's just getting too dark.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
And she's out.
Hey, so what shakes did we get done last night?
We got the corner started over here, which is a doubled up end piece to the corner, and we did that corner over there. We will pull a line across to get a nice straight edge. We're doubling up on them on the first course and not doing that anywhere else. It's a 5.5 inch reveal, and we're nailing around 7 inches up from there. And then we'll start to layer in our tar felt and shingles and tar felt and shingles as we go.
How's it going so far?
So far, so good. I mean, I think we're going to use kind of a template or guide for our nailing pattern next. But as I'm going right now, for these first ones, I'm kind of measuring up my 7 inches, and I'm kind of using my measuring tape as my like spacer from away from the edge, and just nailing to the side of the measuring tape.
Okay.
Just to get that.
Is it kind of fun so far doing the shingles and
Yeah.
shakes? Yeah.
That's exciting.
Okay.
So still questioning how big that gap is, but that's what they say.
They say 3/8 of an inch, right?
Sometimes 5/8. That's more than
I
half
don't
an
know.
inch. Like,
That's a lot. Yeah.
that's a lot. But I mean, I don't know how.
We're
big
going to go with a
cedar-
1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch ish.
All right, so this is a situation where I have a shake that's actually pretty darn wide. It's almost 9.5 inches. I need to be under 8 to hopefully avoid cupping. Most of my problem is normally about these little skinny guys. But here's one big giant fat one. So I'm going to cut this down and make it less than 8 inches.
While Anna was working on one side, we decided it would be a good idea for me to go ahead and start on the other side. So that's what you're seeing here. She had to first help me with putting down the tar felt, just because that takes 2 people, at least with the wind that we had. And then she went back to working on her side. So now you can see me kind of starting to play catch up on this side. It's all the same steps as what we had before, just on the other side. Okay, passing up more shakes. There you go, Anna.
Shakes.
Here we go. More shakes.
Cedar Shake Shingle Bureau.
New roof manual. New roof construction manual.
So we've got new roof.
All right. Hey, Anna, does that thing actually really throw in directions?
I'm going to say it's like 90% there. It doesn't tell you why you're doing stuff. It just
Says do it.
do it. It's nice. It gives you considerations of like humid areas, different types of roofs. So it gives you that. When it comes to the roof vent, unfortunately, it just says follow manufacturer's instructions. It just completely defers that to whatever roof vent material you have. So that's not that helpful. It doesn't even tell you what type of roof vent. It just says find a roof vent. Good luck, basically.
Okay. Well, we better get going.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it gives you 90% of the information you need. All right, that is the double first row finished on the right side of the building.
Okay, so the first course is done. You can see here. So the next course I need to start doing is like this one at the end here, where I start putting the second one on right here.
So I don't know, I'm kind of worried. This doesn't look like a very big pile to cover the entire roof. We're gonna have to see. We've already passed up several handfuls, but this is what we have left, and I just don't know.
Okay, so we're on the phase 2. We have down the first 2 sets that are on the same length, and now it's time to do the second row.
Right. And I'm cutting this to length. I'm not going to use this full height of this tar felt because that's what the diagram's picture shows, and I'm going off a picture. The language doesn't say that in the booklet. It just has pictures, so going off the picture. So
Okay, so we're rolling this out, all right? So if anybody's wondering, this is 15-pound tar felt. If you're in a more northern climate, you could be using 30-pound. or if you just don't want it to rip when you're walking on it. And the blade that we have is a hooked blade, which works extremely well for tar felt.
Yeah, because tar felt really gunks up everything.
Yeah, it may also be called a blade for carpet, but it works really well for tar felt as well.
We were looking at the pamphlet a little closer, and there wasn't specific language in there on how to do this. It was just a picture with kind of arrows and numbers. And we thought there wasn't any tar felt between the two starter courses, but turns out there is. So we're not too late. We can still cut this piece of tar felt in half and kind of shimmy it or slide it under there. So that's what we're going to do to correct that. Thank goodness for these guidelines. I know it's a nailer line, but this
Definitely helps.
a lot.
Now that we have the first row in, we put this piece of tar felt. It's kind of hard for you to tell, but it comes up to about here. So it comes up just above where the second layer will go, but not so far that it's up to the third. And so all this row goes over all of this.
All right, so we counted our shakes, and not including the ridge caps over there, that is a pile of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piles of 30. I think Spencer said that was like 40 right there, and those are a little bit of miscellaneous. These are the ones that I think we can't use. They're starter pieces, they're cracked or too thin. And then up top there were some more. But that's like 200 and something pieces, and we need something like 640 or like 650. That's nowhere near close enough for the whole roof and the little roof. So Spencer's calling the cedar supplier right now to see what they can do. So this is the pile of shingles that we have on the roof compared to the pile that we had downstairs.
Okay, everybody, we have a shaky update.
Why?
So, because it's shaky news. So, when we bought these shakes on super clearance, we told the person how much the ref, which he's great, how much square footage we need, which was about 440 square feet for both roof and the extra second roof. It turns out...
When we were there, I was like, are you sure this isn't?
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's not enough.
It's not even close. We put on the first two starter rows on the roof, and we had some that we brought up to the roof to pick from, and we had some in the shed that we had prepped ready to go, the rest of it. And we were looking at it and we're like, this doesn't look like enough.
Yeah, so we did the math on it at a 10-inch reveal. So we were going to do 5.5-inch reveal because that's what Tom Silva said to do. In the South, apparently, you can do a longer reveal, more like...
Well, the booklet from the cedar supply manufacturer says a 10-inch reveal. So that means...
For a humid climate.
Yeah, for a humid climate.
So that's what we're going to do. So at the 10-inch reveal, we have still 429 more shakes to install on average. And we have... Let me see here. Drum roll. It's the real number.
Yeah, we counted it up. We said we were using like around 30.
So we have 429 shakes left to go, and we have 291 more. So we're short by a lot.
Is that?
And that's not including. No, that's not.
That's not even include.
That's just to finish the roof we're currently working on. So, change of plans. Right? It's American ingenuity. Like, well, you always make up stuff. So. Here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to line the edges with the shakes or shingles. He says maybe shingles now, but that's okay. Shakes or shingles, we're going to line the edges of the roof. So underneath, that's what you see. And then on the top, because you can't see the top very often or frequently, we're probably just going to do regular old asphalt shingles.
Yeah. You can just barely see the roof from kind of our house. It was one of those where it's nice to see, but you're really, really going to see the little roof. I'm calling it a little roof. The roof that kind of goes around the perimeter between the first and second floor. That one you will definitely be able to see and appreciate more than the upper roof.
Well, and here's the good news. Good news is I just called them. They're a really good company, and he said to call them if we ran into any issues or if we ran out of material, and he'd take care of us, make sure that we got enough. Because we've already paid him a good sum of money, to me.
Well, not enough for full price cedar shakes,
No.
but the costs you would spend on asphalt to cover the asphalt.
So here's the thing. He told me he would give us another 8 to 10 bundles, which would be about at least 360 to 400 more. So that would get us most of the way there for everything. So I'm gonna go pick those up right now. I'm gonna put the trailer on. I'm gonna go over there, and on my way back, I'll also pick up some regular old asphalt shingles that we can use to install on the roof.
And hopefully we get that done tomorrow because the next day is going to be rainy.
Right. So that's what we're going to do. Thanks for watching again. We'll see you next time. Oh, one more update here. One more thing I forgot to say. So I'm going to go get more shingles right now that he said that he'd give to us, which are cedar shingles. So that's great. But the actual steps that we were going to do of all the installing the cedar, that's now going to be later when we put on the second little surrounding roof.
So we will still be doing all the same steps. It'll just be in miniature.
It'll just be later. So we'll see. So this might be like Scrounging for a Roof is the name of the episode.
It's like figuring out what the heck we're doing.
Because we don't know. It's definitely not what we were expecting. But anyway, all right. Well, I got to go over there. I will be back in about 2 hours.
Okay. And I guess I will paint some stuff in the meantime.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Okay, so change of plans. So since we're no longer going to be doing the cedar shakes up on the main upper roof, I'm going to be installing the tar felt over the whole thing and using these like button nails for the tar felt instead of the stapler. I find that it's just easier to use these. I feel like they're a little bit more secure too. Our stapler keeps on stapling and then the staple just kind of like doesn't go all the way and you hit it with a hammer and it kind of just like falls to the side. So I'm going to be using these. Well, this is how painting is going so far. Fairly well, considering I can't really see every angle from inside that window when I'm reaching out. Okay. Hey, so what is the latest update?
Okay. So I am back. It was about a 2 or 3 hour round trip. I think we're closer to 3 because of traffic. But I went over to our cedar and cypress supplier. Our representative, he was sure to hook us up. He got us all the stuff for free, which is great because he said the stuff should cover what we had, and it's clearly not. So he gave us a whole bunch of cedar, but all they had were cedar shingles now in the as-is instead of cedar shakes. So we have these cedar shingles. They're not quite as long. They look like they're only 16-inch instead of 24-inch. But that's still more material. That's the good news. The bad news is he only had about half of what we need to actually finish off just the roof. So we'll probably go forward with the plan we were thinking of earlier, which is just marrying what we have up there already with asphalt shingles, marrying it together so that hopefully there's no water penetration. Right now, the shakes that we have installed already, so those should be good. When you're looking up from below, you can see the edge of them, and it looks really good. From the rest of the yard, you typically can't see the roof. The second roof that's going to be lower, you will be able to see. We're going to keep the rest of our shakes for that purpose, and probably end up using the shingles as well. So what we're going to do now is finish off what we were doing up there, and then start marrying the what we have with shingles, which is something I haven't seen done anywhere.
Why would anyone have to do that?
Anyone do this? It might look terrible, but the good news is you can't see it. So as long as it's watertight, we should be good. You can see it from maybe up on our hill in a certain spot. You might be able to see it, but for most of our yard, you won't be able to see the actual roof and this marrying of two materials. Hopefully some way we can make it look intentional as well, but I'm not sure about that.
Hey everyone, so thanks for putting up with all of that.
really, thank you guys. We know this is probably a longer video. We really appreciate you sticking with it. Next time, we'll actually start on putting the shingles on the roof, so that should be an exciting day. But for now, we really appreciate you watching. If there's any part of this video that you did like at all, please consider liking and subscribing.
Yeah, it really does help with the algorithm to figure out who to display our channel to.
Yeah, lets people know that maybe we're making okay stuff. I don't know if we are, but if you feel like we are, let us know. Oh, also, if you have a friend or family that you think might enjoy watching this content as well, please consider sending it to them. It makes a big difference.
Oh, and hey, also, if you'd love to leave a comment, that'd be great too.
Yeah, especially in this one and next one. If we are doing stuff wrong, let us know, at least in the comments, so other people can learn from our mistakes. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.